when every enemy quickly surrounded us. But I was ready. I had been training and developing technology to fight this moment off and defeat Elijah. I began to be filled with rage as I saw many of my friends being shot down. I walked into the field and not a single shot landed on me. I had invented a deflector that protected my entire body. I pointed and shot to the ceiling one of my light-emitting biospheres, which turned everyone in the nearest 100 yards blind for a couple hours, except those wearing glasses I invented to protect us from said weapon, which were only my fellow rebels. With a few tricks up my sleeve, I immediately disabled every soldier that came from us, which instantly earned me the nickname War Master. The news of this newcomer reached Elijah, and he quickly knew who the finest soldier was referring to. We moved into a new hiding place, and again we were found. As legions of soldiers lined up around us, I stepped outside to address them. This war has gone on long enough, and I know you know who I am. I do not want to fight you, but you soldiers give your lives for a leader and a purpose you don't even believe in. Mankind has lived in a cycle of violence, responding to violence with more violence, and that ends today. I ask you, join our cause, change our world, be free from the grasp of a madman. I beg you, do the smart thing. Think and change your mind, or come for me. But let me tell you, those of you who know who I am, do the clever thing. Let someone else try first. A minute passed, and as I lost hope for change, a soldier stepped forward, dropped his blaster at my feet, and stood by my side. Others followed. Thousands followed, until only one remained where a crowd used to stand. Elijah. He was unarmed, so I stepped forward to try to talk. You are a fool to think that peace is the answer. The countries want our tech, and they just point and shoot at us, not looking at who they shoot. They see brown or light skin and fire without hesitation. You will never understand. For a minute, I believed Elijah spoke from his heart. Then I spoke. I know you feel betrayed by the human race, but you've been doing things wrong since before the war began. Stop, surrender, and let me show you a different way. The right way. There is no right or different way, he said. This is the only way. War is the only way. Even if I wanted to change, do you really think my people will forgive me? You think they would just let me walk out of here unharmed? I stood wordless. I saw a hint of goodness in a long time ago. It will not be easy, I replied. I never said it would be. But here's a twist for you. I forgive you. After all the bad you've done, after fighting in a war, I forgive you. Elijah stood, speechless. And as I thought things would change for the better, a shot flew straight to his elbow. A rebel shot him as I yelled him to stop and was ignored. Elijah's eyes filled with rage, and time jumped. I followed, but this time it was different. He wanted me to follow. We stopped in the year 2030, again possessing the bodies of Marcel and Dereck, and his secrets began to fail. He looked at me and he spoke. I don't feel so good, and I don't want to go. But if I must, here are a few things I need to do. Elijah transferred himself into the prototype body and left Dereck knocked out again on the floor. I did not understand what was going on. I was lost. They call you the War Master, he said. Kind of a cliche for my taste, if I'm honest. I must ask a favor from you. You must travel back to your body, grab your status. Yes, I know about it. Grab it. Go back in your body and join Dereck and Marcel and point them in the right direction. Install my software. He handed me a flash drive that read, "The Good Guy." He then said, I have lived a horrible life and have done horrible things. Funny thing about time travel. Once I stepped aside their body and mind, I've absorbed it all. His emotions, memories, and life. It's an unusual thing, the human experience. It changes you. And I found myself carrying an unbearable guilt for all my sins and mistakes. I wish for you to right my wrongs, to make things right and turn Puerto Rico into the powerful, beautiful island it was meant to become. Do this. Even if I know I don't deserve redemption, it is not for me, but for the billions of lives I destroyed through the years. Elijah began laughing. And they said technology wouldn't last forever. As he said this, I saw all the lights in the prototype dim until they were gone. And so was he. Part 4. I jumped back to where my status was parked and headed to 2018. This time, being myself. I introduced myself as a cousin of Marcel's, and we quickly became close friends. Over the years, I manipulated every one of both Dereck's and Marcel's life moments, from their marriages until the day it was time to turn Elijah on. I quickly inserted the Good Guy flash drive into the cortex. As we powered Elijah, he looked at me and winked. The guy celebrated and left to buy some drinks. Elijah spoke. I'm glad you inserted the drive. It uploaded all the memories of everything bad I had done, but it also uploaded the consciousness I received when I possessed Dereck. I will do things differently this time. Better. I promise. And for some reason I believed them. By the time the guys came back, I was long gone. I traveled slowly to my present, 2118. And as I stepped out into the time bureau, everything looked the same. Until I peeked a window. Thousands of flying cars flew by. People seemed happy. Trees and forests everywhere, and for some reason, the bluest sky I'd ever seen. I went inside the history cortex and began reading. Elijah made good on his promise. He democratically won election after election until people decided to stop having them, since not a single person wanted to vote against him. The University of Puerto Rico was the #1 university in the world and led in every field, even fixed global warming around 2035. They kept time travel secret in this timeline, but I could see why. Diseases have been eradicated from the labs. The greatest books ever written were given worth in their English and Spanish departments, and students and teachers travel from around the world in hopes to land a spot in one of their programs. Elijah had changed the future, and my plan did never have to take place. From talking to people around me, I realized no one remembered the original timeline. This would soon be known as the Eye of the Storm effect. which states that only people that participate in events related to time travel would remember anything that was affected or changed. As I left the building, I was stopped. From behind me, I heard a familiar voice uttering the words, "Hello, old friend. It's been quite a while." I turned to see a familiar face. A now friendly AI was talking to me. He told me how he knew once I arrived everything could explode in a paradox, and for that reason he created the Time Bureau to stop it before it started, which they did. After a few weeks, a letter arrived at my doorstep offering me a position of Bureau Director based on my, and I quote, performance saving the world and ingenuity creating physical time travel. With this, I saw a chance to protect the world, a new dawn for mankind, and I leading it on the right path. As I looked forward, I could only think, now, the real fun begins.